Are you making the money that you want to be making from your writing? If you're not, this could be a sign that you've got a money block, and I want to help you transform that today. So I remember when I was doing personal professional development work around money, and I became aware that I had a money block. And actually, I remember being really freaked out because I was like, oh my God, if I've got this money block, that means I'm never going to be able to earn the money that I want to make. So I got really scared at that. And I've since understood that it can feel safer to not admit that there is some kind of block around money. Or it might be that you are aware that money isn't coming into your life in the way that you want, but you've chosen to be simply frustrated or annoyed about this because you don't really know what else to do. So the first thing when we're starting to work with money blocks is to firstly just get really honest. Get really honest about the fact that either the amount of money that you really want to be earning is not currently happening, or that perhaps you're hemorrhaging cash and you want to stop doing that, or whatever your unique experience around money is. So that's the first point. Just get really honest about where you're at versus where you'd really like to be. And it can help to get very specific, like to actually put a number down, like what would you love to be earning each month? And if that feels challenging, that's going to show you where your block is. If it's even challenging to put a number down of the kind of number that you want to be making each month, then you know that you've got a block. And that's great, because then we can start to work with it. So we want to look at the way this money block is showing up in our life. Once we see the way that it's showing up, we can go specifically into that area and start to make changes. So for example, it might be showing up in your life because you're producing content, you're producing writing, but you're not receiving any money from that. So it's showing up in your life in that you're giving stuff away for free. So very simply then, the way that we create that shift is to have a good look at why you're doing that, and to have a good look at what it would take for you to stop doing that and for you to start generating an income from that creative asset that you've got. And again, we'll probably come into another level of block there where there's a fear of like, oh God, well, if I start asking for money, then people aren't going to want these services. Or if I start asking for more money, then people are going to start saying no. And I want for you to understand that all of those thoughts is a money block. If you keep acting as if that thought is real, you will continue to create that reality and money will continue to be blocked. So there's a kind of a moment where you have to just like take a deep breath and just like get really focused and get really brave and say, okay, from now on, this is what I'm going to start charging. Or from now on, I'm no longer going to do stuff for free. Or from now on, I'm going to double my prices. And there will be fear, because there's a reason that that money block was in there in the first place. And usually the reason that these blocks are in place is because we haven't yet come into a place where we're really comfortable at recognizing our true worth. It might be that we think if we put our value up, people are going to start saying no, and we don't want that to happen. We don't want to get rejected. So sometimes a money block is in place because it saves us from having that rejection. So just to take you through the process again, if you're not making the kind of money that you want to be making, either annually or monthly, that's a sign that there's some kind of money block going on in your life. And until you shift that, things are going to stay the same. So you want to get really clear, what do you want to be making each month, or what do you want to be making each year? And see if at that level that feels challenging. You've got to get a figure down. You've got to write it down if you want to start believing in your capacity to start earning that money. And then secondly, you're looking at the way the money block is currently showing up in your life. So perhaps you're giving stuff away for free, or perhaps you're undercharging, or perhaps you're not even making an offer because you're afraid that that offer is going to be turned down. Perhaps you're not submitting work. Perhaps you're not even finishing work. So in what way is it showing up? And then how can you go straight to that place and start to do things differently, i.e. put your prices up or start charging or making sure that you finish creative projects so that you can start submitting them. So there we go, a couple of steps to begin to do work around money blocks. This isn't a sort of one video is going to fix the whole problem. It's a one video to start to get you more conscious and more aware of the fact that money blocks exist and the fact that we can begin to transform them and start to earn the monthly or annual income that we really know that we deserve. So I hope that one was useful. Do feel free to pop a comment below if you've got any thoughts that have come as a result of this video or any blocks that you're now suddenly aware of and you're like, oh, I didn't even know it was there. And what can you do next? So I'm happy to see your comments below, and come join me in my Facebook community if you want more support than you're getting here on the YouTube channel. I'm there Monday to Friday with lots of content and lots of guidance, and you'll see the link in the comments below. Really lovely to have you tuned in on this one. If you haven't yet subscribed, then think about subscribing if you really want to stay committed to your creative potential and achieve that writing project that you know that you have the ability to achieve. And I'll see you next week.